Yo, yo, yo. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining into our FAFSA Live event today by Get Schooled and You Aspire. My name is Don. I am from Get Schooled. You guys have probably seen me on social media before, and I'm joined with my co-host over here. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Kim, and let me just say that Don and I are so excited to have you here today. We're going to answer all your FAFSA questions. Today's event is all about getting your answers to the FAFSA and getting those FAFSAs complete.
Yes, that is right. And all of you guys that haven't joined in, we are doing a giveaway. We're going to have some prizes throughout this. There's a scholarship that you guys can check out, and we're going to give you guys a ton of tips on the FAFSA. I did want to say that you guys should like our channel, subscribe to us. We're going to be posting a bunch of stuff all the time related to FAFSA, related to school, college, jobs, all of that. We have a ton of resources for you guys. So hit that subscribe button, like this, share this to your friends. And if you guys want to win a giveaway, Kim, you can tell them how.
Yes, you can text hashtag FAFSA Live. Again, that's FAFSA Live to 335577 for ongoing support and chances to win cash money today. So definitely stay tuned and get ready to win some prizes and get some answers. So we're gonna start off by kicking things off with a fun little challenge. We know that the financial aid process this year has been especially sour. So as your hosts on this financial aid journey, we're gonna play a little game and we're gonna watch my co-host Dawn try some extremely sour candies. And guys, these aren't just regular sour candies, they're super sour, and we're gonna see how much he can take. Definitely drop in your guesses in the chat below. We're gonna vote on if he can handle it or not. Let's see. Don, show us what you got.
All right, so these are some sour gummy candies. I've never had this before, and I'm not too keen on sour candy, but for the first time ever, it comes with a kind of sour neutralizer, which makes me kind of
Ooh.
scared. But the instructions say swallow three gummies, or pop in three gummies, suck for about 30 seconds, and try not to
Ooh.
make a face. So we're gonna try to do that. Kim, if you have any announcements while I'm doing this, please go ahead.
Of
And here we
course.
go.
All
Okay.
right, guys. I just want to reiterate that we're going to be giving out prizes. Okay. The best way to win these prizes is throughout the live to ask FAFSA questions and really just engage with us. Make sure that you text hashtag FAFSA live to 335577, and we're going to be picking winners here as well as on Instagram in the chat and through text. So definitely be engaged and let's see how Don's doing.
It is pretty sour. Oh my gosh.
You got this.
I'm not a quitter. I'm gonna swallow this. Give me a sec. This is so chewy too.
Oh, no way. You got this.
Okay.
First impressions, let us know.
That's definitely some of the most sour candy I've ever had.
Oh
Oh my gosh.
my. Did the neutralizer help?
I don't think I'll need it, but I'm gonna try it.
Are they
Let's
tasty? Oh my gosh, I'm dying. I can't be the only one. Let me know in the chat.
Okay. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I give that like a it wasn't the most sour candy I've had, but it definitely was not good at all. Like, most sour candy gets sweet at the end. This one was just
Yes.
it was just sour throughout the whole thing. It was probably not too pleasant.
But you got through it. Just how all of our watchers are going to get through this FAFSA. Make sure to subscribe. We're going to help you get there. We're going to help you get across the finish line. And we're going to learn from an expert. Don't just believe us and take our word for it, but we have FAFSA expert Brendan here. Brendan Williams, please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became so passionate about helping students get through the FAFSA.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Brendan Williams. I work at You Aspire. We're a national nonprofit that helps students navigate the financial aid process, and we do that across the country. And I've been doing this for over a decade. And I'm really passionate about this because my own journey, no one really talked to me about how much college costs and the college affordability process. And I think it's so important for us to understand the cost of college and also to be able to get financial aid to help us go to college. And that's why we're here today to talk about the FAFSA.
Thank you, Brendan. And I just wanted to tell you all that are watching, you guys are in great hands. Brendan is super well knowledgeable about the FAFSA and he can't wait to help you all. So, Brendan, what are some key points that all students need to know about the FAFSA and how they can find success?
Absolutely. So the FAFSA stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, and it is the key to unlocking financial aid for college. And so if you're thinking, I want to get some scholarships, I want to get some grants, maybe I want to get a work study job, the key to doing that is filling out the FAFSA and sending it to the colleges that you're interested in going to. And so the FAFSA really, like I said, is the key to unlocking financial aid for college. It's how you get access to all different types of financial aid. And there's still time to fill it out. It is available. It is ready to go. If you haven't filled it out yet, I would go to FAFSA.gov and get started. And if you need help, you can text 335577 and there'll be a live person, just like us, there to help you navigate through any questions that you have.
Right. Just wanted to reiterate that if you guys text this hashtag FAFSA live up here to 335577, there are a ton of other FAFSA advisors on there that can help you out, answer your questions, and you guys can win one of the $200 giveaways if you guys text into that number.
All right. So remember, the key steps are starting early, double checking that you have all important information, and ask for help as long as you need it. So definitely drop in your questions in the chat. We're looking forward to helping you. Again, it's hashtag FAFSA 335577.
Yes, and don't forget the little hashtag for the FAFSA. That is super important. Do not forget that one. It might send you to something else. But anyways, for our first little giveaway, we are gonna pick some winners from people who signed up to our Eventbrite. And we already selected some winners. So, Kim, do you want to announce our first $200 winners?
Yes, I want to reiterate $200, and it's not too late to enter. So our first winner is going to be Isaiah Diallo. And our second winner is going to be Masesha Sims. Thank you for registering for the event. We will email you with more info on your prize. And if you weren't selected, don't worry, because if you participate on this live stream through the chat and share this video for more chances to win, remember to text in your questions to hashtag FAFSA live to 335577 to get help, and maybe you will always also have a chance to win. Next up, we're going to dive into our live AMA session. So be sure to drop in your questions in the chat and we'll do our best to answer your questions.
All right, Brendan, we got some more questions for you. We got a whole list of questions for you, actually. So
yes,
you're gonna be talking a lot right here. But one of the first questions, I've heard there's been a lot of technical issues with the FAFSA. Is this still worth doing with the deadline coming up on June 30th?
Absolutely. And so the FAFSA is still worth doing, even though there are some technical issues. And a lot of the technical issues that maybe you heard about have been resolved by now. You still might run into some things, and that's when you should text hashtag FAFSA to 335577, and they can definitely provide support. I do want to note another thing. So that June 30th deadline, that's not this June 30th. That's next June 30th, but you want to get that's June 30th, 2025, but you want to get the FAFSA submitted as soon as possible. If you're thinking about going to college in the fall, let's get that FAFSA complete. But yes, definitely still worth it to complete now.
Right. And
thank
I will say too that even if you don't know if you're gonna go to college yet or anything, fill out the FAFSA. It's great to have it as a backup there and just have it completed as early as you can.
Thank you, Brendan. And thank you for your insight. I think for a student that's struggling, debating whether or not they should apply, it's always safe to apply? And what would you say to a student on the live stream that maybe hasn't started the FAFSA at all? And why should they even get started? Like what's the first step?
So the first step to starting the FAFSA. So first of all, if you haven't started yet, that's okay. The FAFSA is still there. You can still get financial aid. But the first step is going to be creating an FSA ID, which is a username and password that you'll use to log into the FAFSA and get started. And you can do that at studentaid.gov. So that's definitely the first step. You need one in order to complete the FAFSA. So going to studentaid.gov and creating an account. And then you would start filling it out, and the FAFSA is going to lead you really through what you need and what you need to provide on the form. And sometimes you might need parent information. Some students might not need parent information, and that's going to be dependent on your current situation. And so if you have questions about that, once again, texting hashtag FAFSA to 335577, and an advisor can help you figure out what information is required and what information you need.
All right, thank you, Brandon. All right, we're gonna do a couple more questions here. Do I have to do the FAFSA to get any scholarships?
Well, yes. To keep it short and sweet, the answer is yes. You do need to do the FAFSA. So depending on where you're looking for scholarships, so scholarships can come from a bunch of different places. And so they might come from the school, they may come from a private foundation, maybe someone in the community that gives out scholarships, the federal government, the state government. All of those usually require the FAFSA to be completed for you to get access to those scholarships. I do want to say one note: if you are a student who does not have a social security number and is unable to complete the FAFSA, there might be some other resources for you. So you should contact the school. You can also text in hashtag FAFSA to 335577, and someone will be able to direct you to what options you have available. But one of the key things I want to say is even if you're not sure if you'll get financial aid, the only way you know is whether or not you apply for financial aid. So even if you're unsure whether you'll get anything, just complete the FAFSA and see what those colleges will give you.
Thank you, Brendan. That was super insightful. And as we know, life is a roller coaster. So is there any way to ask for more aid in case of income changes? And can I ever request more financial aid?
Absolutely. And I just want to reiterate. So I've been saying hashtag FAFSA. I want to own. My bad. It's hashtag FAFSA live. So you can see it. There it is on the background. Just text hashtag FAFSA live to 335577. But yeah, so if let's say you fill out the FAFSA and the FAFSA asks for 2022 income information. And so I don't know about y'all, but my situation changes from year to year, and that might not reflect my current reality. And so what you can do is talk to the college. You can go through something called the appeals process and ask if they'll consider your income that you have for 2024 instead of for 2022 to help determine your financial aid. So that's going to be on a college by college basis, though. So let's say you're thinking about choosing between a few different colleges. You have to talk to each financial aid office to figure that out. And once again, hashtag FAFSA live to 335577. And an advisor can help you think about maybe how to write that appeal, how to really talk about what's changed with your income situation, or if there's been any other emergencies that maybe you've had to pay for and you don't have access to those funds that you'd listed on the FAFSA before.
Thank you, Brandon. That's great because I think sometimes students, we think of FAFSA as this really scary beast to tackle, when in reality, they're really working with us for our success. So if we, advocate for ourselves, they're more than willing to work with us. So that's a very, very nurturing to hear.
Absolutely. The FAFSA is here to help. It can be scary, yes, but there's people here to help you. There's people here to support. And really the goal is to get you financial aid to make college more affordable for you.
Yeah. Yes. Totally. And we hope that, we look nice enough to approach, and Brendan is super nice. So do not be scared. We're here to help.
Yes, and once again, I want to plug our text line. We did get a question: is the text line free, and is it only for this live stream? And no, our text line is open all the time. You guys can text in there, ask about FAFSA related questions. If you guys want to talk about any other topics as well, it's real people on the other line. It's someone that's gonna be there to help you guys out. So do text FAFSA, hashtag FAFSA live 3355 if you guys want some more personal help.
Thank you, Don. And we did get one more question, and it's for you, Brendan. Can you talk a little bit more about what happens if my parents don't have a social security number? I know that topic can be a little bit taboo, but again, we're in a safe space. So go ahead, Brendan.
Absolutely. So there are a lot of students out there whose parents might not have social security numbers. And the first thing I want to say is you are still eligible for financial aid. And so you're eligible for federal financial aid. You're going to be eligible for state financial aid, depending on the state you live in, and institutional financial aid. So your parents' citizenship status does not determine what financial aid you're eligible for. That's your status that helps determine that. And so if your parent doesn't have a social, there's still your parent's going to need to create an FSA ID, and they're going to need to provide some information when creating that FSA ID to confirm their identity. There was a lot of hiccups with that earlier this year. They've really smoothed out the process and made it a little bit, they've removed some of those hurdles. So they should be able to do that without much issue. And then you'll list them on your FAFSA, and they'll have to provide some income information, some general identifying information. But the key thing is they have to be included on your FAFSA. And so making sure that their information is included and you can get that form submitted. And so they have a little bit of a process to go through, but you are still eligible for financial aid. And if you have any issues, I mean, it bears repeating, right? Hashtag FAFSA Live to 335-577, and someone will be able to help you navigate through that. But I just want to say you are eligible for financial aid, for federal financial aid, and you should fill out the FAFSA, even if your parent doesn't have a social. And so really encourage you to do so.
Thank you, Brendan. I also wanted to just circle back and talk about a scholarship that we also have currently running at Get Schooled. It is a financial aid scholarship. So if you guys have filled out your financial aid in the month of June, please go apply to our scholarship. We're giving away multiple $5,000 scholarships to students who have filled out their financial aid in June. This includes the FAFSA. So if you guys have filled out your FAFSA, go apply to our scholarship. It's super quick, super simple, super easy.
Thank you, Don. And we're wondering, how long does it take to complete the whole FAFSA process? Because as students, we got a lot of things going on. It's summer. I need to hang out with my friends. How long is this going to take me?
That's a great question. And so it depends on what you mean by FAFSA process. But if you're talking about just completing the FAFSA itself, I've heard students tell me that this new version of the FAFSA only took them 10 minutes. I've had other students, it took them 30 minutes. And so it's going to vary based on you. You want to have, if you want to really get the FAFSA done as quickly as possible, you want to get you and your parents, if they're required on the form, in the same room, filling out that form to get it submitted. But then just keeping in mind, there are steps after the FAFSA. And so you might need to provide some additional documentation to the college. You'll be getting a financial aid offer that'll tell you how much financial aid you get. But actually completing the form shouldn't take very long. And so, like I said, some students it takes 10 minutes, others 15, 20, 30 minutes. If it's taking longer than that, I would say pause, text hashtag FAFSA Live to 335-577, and someone can help you navigate whatever questions you have.
Wow, Brendan, that's like a quick Netflix show.
It certainly is, yeah.
Yeah, 10 minutes is so quick. I remember when I did the FAFSA back however long ago, it took me a couple of hours just to figure that out.
Yeah, they've really updated it and made, I mean, granted, there were some technical issues this year, so I'm not going to try and sugarcoat that. But if you don't run into any of those technical issues, they've really updated it and made it a lot better and easier for folks to fill out.
Yes, go file your FAFSA. It does not take a long time, guys. And you guys could get so much in return for it. All right, we got another question for you. If I am applying to state school or community college, why do I need federal aid?
So if you're applying to a state school or community college, you probably still want financial aid to help pay for college, right? And so the federal government offers different types of financial aid by you completing the FAFSA. And so there's something called a Pell Grant. And so depending on your income and a number of other factors, I'm not going to dig into that because I don't want to bore y'all on YouTube Live at this time of night. But number of factors, you can get access to a Pell Grant that can help you pay for tuition at a community college. It can help you pay for tuition at a state school, at a private college. It can be used at any college that is eligible for federal financial aid. And so the money that you get via the FAFSA can be used at any of those places. And so I'm all about making things cheaper. I look for deals all the time. Filling out the FAFSA is like getting a deal on college and gets you access to money to help you pay for college. And so if you're about deals, you should be about the FAFSA.
Honestly, who does not like free money? Now, I'm wondering what the difference is between different types of loans and how does that relate to FAFSA? I know we hear a lot about student loans in the news. So can you clarify a little bit, Brendan?
Absolutely. So I do want to say, so like loans are a type of financial aid. They're not, when people think financial aid, they think grants and scholarships. There's two additional ones, loans and work study. And there are a few different types of loans out there. And so a lot of students do need to take out loans for college. I wish they didn't. I wish that wasn't the case. I think a lot of people wish the same thing. And the federal government does have some different types of loans. And so I'm going to talk about two different types really quickly. So there's the subsidized direct loan and the unsubsidized direct loan. Those are both from the federal government. The difference is for the subsidized loan, the government pays the interest while you're in college. And so that's great, right? Because you're not covering that interest while you're in college. The government's covering that for you. Once you graduate in 6 months after, it'll start accruing interest, but in that time, it's not going to accrue. And then the unsubsidized loan, you have to pay that interest. That interest accrues while you're in college. And so if you have the choice between the subsidized and unsubsidized loan, you want to go with the subsidized. And so that's a really important thing to remember if you have to borrow loans for college.
Thank you, Brendan. All right, we are going to give you a break from questions since we just asked you a lightning round of questions, and we are going to do a second giveaway. We're going to give away a
Drum
couple more
roll.
$200 gift cards. Yes, please, can we get a little drum roll going? We picked two winners from our text line already, and these two winners are Jasmine Garcia and Jessica Awan. Congratulations, guys. You guys just won some $200 gift cards.
Congratulations. And I just want to reiterate, this is not the last giveaway. So we're going to be giving out more. Definitely stay tuned. And we're going to go over some more questions in the chat. Please keep them coming. Brendan is more than excited. He definitely took that break, got re-energized, and he is ready for more questions. So, Brendan, if the FAFSA says it's processed, what does that mean? Am I done? What do I do after? Do I submit?
All right. So if the FAFSA is processed, what you want to do is log in and check over your FAFSA submission summary. So once the FAFSA is processed, you get access to this form or web page that shows a summary of everything that's been on your FAFSA, which bear the name FAFSA submission summary, right? And so you should check that to make sure there aren't any mistakes or next steps you have to take. It'll also give you your student aid index, which will help determine how much federal financial aid you're eligible for and other types of financial aid. And so you want to review that document. If you have any questions about things on there, or maybe some things are like you need to change this, or this is a flag, you would want to double check that on your FAFSA, make any corrections you need, and resubmit it. Otherwise, you might want to call your college and say, hey, is there anything else I need to do to get financial aid for college? Because like I said, there might be some additional steps. And so you want to follow up and see, okay, I submitted the FAFSA, they've got that info. Now, what's the college saying I need to do? And you can either call them, sometimes there's a portal, sometimes they'll send you an email with next steps, but paying attention to see what they need.
Thank you so much, Brendan. Someone just asked us if Get Schooled has an app, and unfortunately we do not, but we do have social channels. If you guys follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, we are all over there, just at Get Schooled. Go ahead and follow us. If you guys have questions, you can also send us DMs. I'm the one in charge of all of our socials, so I can answer all those DMs, or I'll point you guys to someone who can answer all those questions like Brendan here. But yes, follow us on our socials and we can find the best way to get you guys some help, whether it's about college, FAFSA, jobs, or whatever.
Thanks, Don. I see our winners are still tapped into this chat and they're wondering how to get their cash prizes. Please text us at 335577 to get your gift cards. So, Brendan, My parents don't want me to list them on the FAFSA. Can I skip this part?
That is a really difficult question. And so I don't want to dive into like personal details on a YouTube live. And so we want to avoid any personal details, but it's going to vary based on what's going on at home. And so what I would encourage you to do is text hashtag FAFSA live to 335577. You can share everything's held confidentially with that advisor. They'll figure out what you can do and what you can't do to determine whether or not your parents need to be included, or if you can skip that part of the FAFSA. And so definitely talking with the text line to figure out what you can do would be the best bet.
Thank you, Brendan. That's super insightful. And let's see if we have any more questions from our group. How can I see if I have a financial aid offer, and when should I expect it after I submit?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so financial aid offers are going to vary based on the college, because each college kind of operates in its own way. And so what I would say is like once you submit the FAFSA, you shouldn't expect a financial aid offer to like show up the next day. The college might not even have your information yet. It'll probably be at least a few weeks out, depending on the time of year and when you submit it. And so usually financial aid offers, they can be mailed home. You can maybe find them in a college portal. Sometimes they can be emailed. And so what you want to do is check with each college, or maybe you only have one college you're thinking about, check with that college and say, how am I going to get my financial aid offer and what's the timing on that? And they'll let you know how you're going to receive it and when you should expect it. But it's going to happen probably at least a few weeks after submitting the FAFSA or even longer, so that they can process that information and understand how much financial aid they're going to give you.
Thank you, Brandon. I have a follow-up question to that. So my FAFSA submission summary doesn't list my student aid index. What should I do? And also, can you explain what a student aid index is?
Yeah. So student aid index, really confusing. I got confused the first time I heard. I was like, what is that? What's going on? So the student aid index helps figure out how much financial aid you're eligible for. So basically you put all these numbers and information onto the FAFSA and it produces the student aid index. And that's going to help colleges figure out how much financial aid you need. It's going to help determine your eligibility for all different types of financial aid, but mainly the Pell Grant from the federal government that I talked about earlier. Um, and so if your submission summary is missing your SAI, there's a few things you want to do. First, check that FAFSA submission summary and see, are there any flags or mistakes it's flagging saying like this information's missing? If so, go make corrections and resubmit the form. The other thing to check is, so I'm going to use a term called contributors. That's basically anyone else who's required to be on your FAFSA. So a parent, or if you're married, maybe a spouse. All contributors need to have consented to the IRS sharing their tax information with the FAFSA and also sign the FAFSA for you to get an SAI or student aid index. So those are the first two things to check. If they haven't, have them log in, consent, sign the form, and resubmit it. And hopefully next time it processes, an SAI will show up. The last part, and now I'm getting into the technical stuff because I'm a financial aid geek. There was an issue with the FAFSA. Surprise, surprise. There was a slight issue where there was something going on with family size. And so if those two things are like, that all looks good, why is he talking about this? Go in. You might need to change your answer to family size. So some people said, family size matches my tax form. You want to say that it doesn't match and you need to provide a new family size on the form because something wasn't transferring from the IRS correctly. If you're confused about what I'm saying right now, because I'm getting into the weeds and you're like, what is he talking about? Text hashtag FAFSA live to 335577 and someone will be able to walk you through that. Because I just got into the weeds a little bit and I wanted to not do that. But there are some technical issues with that SAI on the submission summary.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brandon. Honestly, you cleared it up for me a little bit too. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Kim, do you have any final questions for Brendan before we let him go?
Yes, Brendan, one last question, really quick, in a few words. What is your final piece of advice to students who are tackling this FAFSA?
I would say just get in there and try to do it. try and get it
Yes.
done. And we're here to help.
Thank you. And Don, let's reveal our final winners.
Yes, time for the last giveaway. We got 2 more $200 gift cards to go. And if we could get a little drum roll, Kim, can you announce the winners this time?
Yes, our winners are Jasmine Messenger and Jay Reeves. Congratulations. And I just want to reiterate, we're here to help. If you did not get your questions answered, we're going to be doing another live on Saturday at 11. Be there. And again, we're going to have cash prizes, and maybe we can see Don try another challenge again.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yes, also, if you guys want to apply to our financial aid scholarship, please head to getschool.com. We have that scholarship up and it's live right now until the end of the month. So go check it out. Go follow your FAFSA, get all of that done, and get ready for college.
Yes, FAFSA deadline is June 30th. Do not wait till the last minute, and we hope to see you there on Saturday.
And quick thank you to Brendan for joining us today. Thank you
Yes,
for all
thank
your
you,
time and
Brendan.
answering all of our questions.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.